Hello, person or people who clicked on this video. If you were expecting to see a WWE or TNA full show, when it clearly says highlights and review in the title, please click off the video right now. You have two options also. Either you can watch the video on a live stream, or you can wait 2 to 3 days when somebody is foolish enough to upload it to their channel and get their channel taken off YouTube. I myself, I don't really care much for YouTube, but I want to keep this channel up, so I will not be uploading any material from TNA or WWE. This is strictly wrestling review with comedy, opinion, and a little bit of something else. I don't know what it is, but please, if you do not enjoy wrestling reviews, please click off the video right now. I've given you options. Just leave if you do not enjoy wrestling review commentaries. That is all. Thank you. What's going on, people? TNA Turning Point 2012 review, and it starts off with Taz, Bully Ray, and Buckethead coming out to the ring and asking people to donate to the Red Cross via cell phone, via text message, 5, 10. I forgot what amounts they were doing, but I guess anything you could want to provide to the Red Cross charity foundation, via the situation. I feel like this was very classy. It wasn't like the WWE where it forced it down our throats with the John Cena only t-shirt. Really, a John Cena only t-shirt, and it only add up to like 1 million when you could have had like Dolph Ziggler pink t-shirt. I'm not even gonna get into that. Anyway, it wasn't forced. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't forced like that. It was just like one point during the beginning, before the wrestling happened, they were like, hey, if you want to donate, you can. If you don't, it's on you. Enjoy the wrestling. And they didn't even press, but I don't think I heard anybody say anything about it throughout the well, I think Taz said something about it during the first match, but besides that, that was the end of it. They didn't force it. I appreciate TNA for doing that. So the first match, Madness versus Joe. Joe starts off the match just completely destroying Madness. Madness goes to the outside of the game. I guess some clearance from Joe after getting completely smashed. He grabs a chair, and Joe's trying to go for a suicide dive. He hits Joe in the face with it. Madness rolls him inside, and he gains a little bit of a advantage. He hits some moves, and then he hits him with one elbow drop from the top rope. They have a fight again after Joe kicks out of that one. He hits another elbow drop, so it's two elbow drops that Samoa Joe kicks out of him. Madness rolls to the outside, and he grabs the chair again. But this time Joe goes to top and hits on like a corkscrew body splash onto Madness. He rolls Madness to the inside, hits him with the muscle buster, and Madness kicks out of the muscle buster. And Joe, the look on his face is legitimately surprised. I think the last time somebody kicked out one of Samoa Joe's muscle busters was like Kurt Angle, where they had that feud a long time ago or whatever. And Madness gets up on spaghetti legs, and he's like, come on, fight. They get into fisticuffs, and of course Joe, he spins him around, chokes him out. And yeah, Madness, he's like Alberto Del Rio. Like, he has all this big talk and everything before a pay-per-view or whatever. He might win one match or whatever before the pay-per-view, but like when he gets to a main event or some other way he has to win a belt, he loses. So it's like no point to put him in any match. Like right now, it's just like, let's skip over this one. It was a good match, but still, like the ending, like this was the main point of some of these matches. Like the ending didn't make a lot of sense. Like, why? So you get next match, Eric Young ODB versus Tara and Jesse. One thing I gotta point out in this match, if you know about wrestling and you know about heel tag teams, like they might do a phantom tag behind the referee's back. But Tara, she did a phantom tag in front of the referee. Yeah, a phantom tag in front of the referee, and the referee allowed it. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Eric Young, he didn't look too bad in his return. I mean, it wasn't Austin Aries or Kurt Angle type wrestling, but it was decent for comedy relief, and we haven't seen the guy in like 2 months, so still pretty good wrestling. I mean, for what it was. I mean, he was in a mixed tag match. I mean, you probably got to see him verse in one-on-one competition, which I doubt we might see, because I don't know, his show might be on some kind of like hiatus for like a season or whatever. I don't know. Either way, it's mostly Eric Young getting double teamed by Tara and Jesse. ODB gets involved in the match and chases Tara out of the ring. And then she spits whiskey in Jesse's face and then kicks him in the nuts. She goes to the outside of the ring, gets tagged in by Eric Young, dominates both of them. Tara gets driven to the outside of the ring. Jesse grabs ODB and instead of hitting her with some kind of finishing move or whatever, he tosses her into the ropes. Eric Young blind taps himself in. ODB counters Jesse and power slams him. And Eric Young comes out of his shorts and hits him with a top rope elbow. I mean, he got some height on this elbow. If you look at this picture, he literally touched the sky. And this one matches like they could have done without, but I mean, it was basically for comedy relief and people who like bit tatars. Next match, RVD versus Joey Ryan. And what happened to Joey Ryan? I mean, RVD had a match against basically himself. I mean, Joey Ryan had basically no offense. I think the best thing he did was the promo he cut before the match. He hit one of his finishers, Joey Ryan, but it's basically a second rope neck breaker, and he calls it a mustache ride. Are you serious, bro? Like I have so much high hope for Joe Ryan, but now he's coming to like what Taz said in his gut check, a gimmick, like not a wrestler. He just like a gimmick that already gotten old. It's like he didn't even hit one wrestling move besides that one I talked about, and some punches and kicks. Where was like a long time ago, like not a long time ago, a couple months ago, he was facing Austin Aries in his gut check, and the guy was looking excellent. It's just like he forgot all about wrestling in those 6 months and just turned into some kind of like 70s jobber type guy. Like, get this guy out of here. So RVD, he wins with a 5-star fall splash, and as he's walking up, he gets attacked by Matt Morgan, which makes no sense. Even though Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan are together, but are they setting up some kind of RVD versus Matt Morgan feud? And if they are, is it going to be for the X Division title? Because Matt Morgan shouldn't be able to win the X Division title because it has a weight limit on it, even though RVD, he's over the weight limit. Maybe not, because RVD, he looks kind of skinny and trim, so I can let RVD slide. But Matt Morgan, if they're trying to, Matt Morgan, his whole gimmick now is to like make an impact and make history or whatever. You're not going to make history winning the X Division title, especially on RVD. Maybe a while ago, like some years ago, but not now. Like, I think it would make more sense if Matt Morgan would have bro kick / carbon footprint kick / bicycle kick the winner of the 3-way number one contenders match, or the winner of the World Heavyweight title ladder match. That's just me. I like common sense and things that make sense. The next match is Director of Chaos, aka Luke Gallows. Director of Chaos, Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows versus Joseph Parks and Taz. He has the botch of the night on the commentary. While Joseph Parks is getting beat up in the corner by Luke Gallows, he says, well, Abyss, he's not looking too good right there. And like the whole commentary team is like, did you just say Abyss? Really? And like for the whole match, they're like, everybody's walking on eggshells when they talk about Joseph Parks. He's like, the Doc, he just laying shots into Joseph Parks. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, Joseph Parks, not Abyss. So the match starts off very, very cartoony, with Joseph Parks just avoiding Luke Gallows on the outside, making him basically hurt himself. Like, he's laying on the apron. Luke Gallows goes to hit him, and he hits his hand on the apron. He lays on the guardrail, and Luke Gallows jumps and hits the guardrail, injures himself. He's like, is this real life or this like cartoony? Like, anyway, it gets into the middle of the ring, and Luke Gallows, he starts to dominate Joseph Parks. And I like how Joseph Parks, he really sells Abyss. He sells the fact that he's supposed to be this Lord character. He doesn't know what he's doing. He does gain some kind of offense. He gets some punches in, and like when he goes to the ropes, this is where he really sells it, like that he doesn't know what he's doing. He goes to the ropes, and like instead of like pushing his back to it to get some kind of momentum, he stops at the ropes and like does a hand push off ropes. Like that's something like an amateur would do, someone who doesn't know what they're doing. So I appreciate the guy for at least selling the gimmick. And Luke Gallows, he gets so enraged that he's getting beat up by a lawyer or whatever, or scared of the offense of Joseph Parks. He grabs his belt with the spikes and opens up Joseph Parks. And Joseph Parks, he like clockwork sees the blood and goes into Abyss mode, hits Luke Gallows with a black hole slam. Then he turns it down and hits him with a steel chair. Luke Gallows kicks out of both of those things. And then Luke Gallows hits him with a choke slam. He wins 1, 2, 3. And he starts to beat on Joseph Parks, and he tries to hit him with the hammer. Bullet Ray comes in to save the day. And this was one of the matches the Ace and Eight, they had to win. If they lost one of the matches that they had to hear, if they would have lost, it would make no sense for like one of the toughest members supposedly of Aces and Eights to lose to Joseph Parks, the lawyer character. It's just like, it would be like, pack it up and leave. Like, the group has no legitimacy. Now the next match it wasn't the next match, but I'm just skip ahead to it. Devon versus Kurt Angle. Good match, but nothing really to talk about. You know, Kurt Angle suplexed Devon a couple times. He put him in ankle lock and everything like that. Ace and Eight came out when Devon looked like he's about to lose. He hit Kurt Angle with a spear as soon as the other members came out, and I was thinking, well, maybe he's gonna win it right here with the spear. He doesn't. Angle kicks out, and then he puts Devon in the ankle lock. Devon taps out. Angle runs out, and then you get Luke Gallows screaming in the ring that he's gonna come for Kurt Angle. It's not over. You're next. So setting up a Kurt Angle versus Luke Gallows feud. Maybe. I mean, you could get excited for it or whatever. Then you get Chavo and Supermax versus Kaz and Daniels. And Kaz and Daniels, they look like a tag team in this. And they look like the most legitimate tag team in all of wrestling right now. But still, TNA, they don't have the belts, which is interesting. But either way, throughout this, the funny thing was, like, Kaz, he comes in, he drop kicks Chavo in the stomach. And then both of them, Kaz and Daniels, they hit the open Gangnam Style dance in the middle of the ring. Classic stuff. And then they were just like working on Chavo for most of this match, like keeping them in their side of the ring, fresh tags in and out, hitting tag team type moves like an arm drag of Kaz from Daniels onto Chavo, and things like that. But then you get Sumax, he gets tagged in, and it kind of picks up because of the strength and stuff. And then when Sumax is in the ring, he's like, why is he not going for a heavyweight title in the main event or something like that? And Chavo, why isn't he in the X Division title hunt? It just seems like TNA put these two guys together, even though they have no charisma or they don't even look like a tag team. They put them together simply because they're Latino. So, yeah. Let me just skip ahead to the end of the match. Chavo and Sumax, they win via Doomsday Device on Guess Who. Well, you see the picture. It had to be Christopher Daniels because he's always eating. He's like the Dolph Ziggler of TNA, except for he has a little 10 times the personality of Dolph Ziggler, even though Dolph Ziggler, his personality is kind of coming up right now. But if Dolph Ziggler could get the personality, if Dolph Ziggler and Christopher Daniels could combine into one wrestler, the youth of Dolph Ziggler and like the charisma of Christopher Daniels, oh my God, I'm just think about it. Then you get the next match, AJ Styles versus James Storm versus Robert Roode. This was the second best match of the night. AJ Styles, he puts on a clinic here, man. From high risk moves to mat wrestling, hits the figure four leg lock and Indian Death Lock on James Storm, even though he really doesn't sell it. James Storm, he's just like gets put through all this agony on his leg, and he's still walking around fine. He doesn't even try to sell a hobble or anything like that. There was one point in the match where Robert Roode, he's on the top rope, and I think who puts him there? Yeah, Storm puts him there, and he knocks off. Like I think he's about to get suplexed or whatever. He knocks off James Storm, and then AJ Styles comes out of nowhere and runs up and hits him with some kind of hurricanrana. It was looking pretty excellent. And then you get one point in the match where Roode and Storm, they tag team up on AJ Styles and hit like a suplex, and then they tease a bit of the beer money chant. But of course, it's too early to do that. Like, I mean, if they would have hit it, they would have blew the top off the arena. But if they would have did it, it would have made sense and storyline, because these guys have had a brutal battle for like almost a year, and now they're friends and him the beer money chant. So of course, before they can hit it,